Do I deserve all of this? Is this what I was meant to become? A weary soul, a hollow shell of a warrior, wandering in a world that seems to chew and spit out those who dare stand against it. I've fought countless battles, stared death in the eyes, and yet, here I am, shackled not by chains, but by this endless agony that fills my heart. Why does this hurt so much? They never told us that pain could grow roots so deep, digging into every corner of your being. They spoke of valor, of courage, of honor. They told us that warriors don't feel, that we don't fear, that the fire of battle should be enough to warm our spirits. But what about the nights when the scars throb like fresh wounds? What about the emptiness that follows victory, like a shadow lurking behind every triumph? No one warned me about the hollow ache that fills you when everyone else has left. Maybe it's weakness to sit here, talking to the darkness as if it could answer me. But what else is there? When all I have is silence as a companion, when the faces of those I've lost haunt me like ghosts. Sometimes I wonder, would it have been easier if I'd never picked up this sword? If I'd walked another path, one free of blood and sacrifice? But then again, is any path truly free from suffering? They say suffering is a part of life, that it shapes us, strengthens us. But why does it feel like it's tearing me apart instead? Every step forward feels heavier. Every victory feels hollow. There's no glory in this. Glory is a lie they sell to us, a beautiful story to mask the pain beneath. The real fight is here, within me. The real battle is finding the strength to keep going when it feels like there's nothing left. I can't count the times I've wanted to give up, to lay down my arms and let the darkness take me, but something always pulls me back. Something whispers that I have to keep going, even if the road ahead is shrouded in pain. Maybe it's hope, or maybe it's just stubbornness. Maybe deep down, I'm still foolish enough to believe that there's something worth fighting for, even if I can't see it right now. The world is a cruel teacher, but I've learned my lessons well. I've learned that life doesn't care about fairness, that it takes more than it gives, that it demands more than it ever offers in return. And yet, here I am, beaten, battered, but not broken. Not yet, because as much as it hurts, as heavy as the weight feels, I am still here. And maybe that's enough. So no, I don't know if I deserve this, if any of us do. But I know that I'm still standing, and maybe, just maybe, that's the answer. To endure, to carry on. Because even in the darkest night, there's a promise of dawn. And perhaps, one day, when all this pain has faded, I'll look back and see that every scar, every wound, was a step forward. A testament to a life lived, not in comfort, but in courage. I try to tell myself that this pain is temporary, that all of this will pass. I've whispered it to myself countless times, like a chant, a lullaby in the darkest hours. This too shall pass. But what if it doesn't? What if this suffering isn't some temporary storm, but a lifelong shadow that I must carry day after day? And if that's true, how do I keep going? Maybe I'm chasing something that doesn't exist. Peace, redemption, meaning in a world that feels so empty. It It's strange. They call me a warrior, praise my strength, but they don't see this side of me. They don't know the weight I carry, the nights when my hands tremble, my spirit feels so close to shattering. They only see the blade, the armor, the stoic face. They see a hero, but they don't see the fear. They don't see the doubts gnawing at me like a sickness that I can't cure. Sometimes I look at my hands, scarred and calloused, and I wonder, is this all they're good for? To wield a weapon, to destroy, to take life so that others may live in peace? And if that's true, then what becomes of me when there's no battle left to fight? Who am I beyond this role they've assigned me? What's left when the armor comes off and the silence settles in? I think of all the faces I've seen along the way, the friends I've lost, the allies who fell by my side, each of them with dreams, with hopes. They fought just like I do now, believing that their sacrifices would mean something. And yet, here I am, questioning if it was worth it, questioning if any of it mattered at all. Did their lives amount to anything more than names on a forgotten list, stories told by a dying fire? And what about me? Will I be remembered, or will I fade like so many before me? A brief spark in a world that moves on, unbothered by the lives it consumes. There's a voice inside me though, one that refuses to let go. It's a quiet voice, almost drowned out by the noise of despair, but it's there, whispering to me, urging me to stand, to keep moving. It tells me that maybe I don't need to understand all of this right now, that maybe the answers I'm searching for won't come easily, won't be laid out neatly. Maybe life isn't about finding answers, but about enduring the questions, about pushing forward, even when the road is dark, even when each step feels like it could be the last. I remember the elders used to say that suffering is a teacher, that pain, no matter how unbearable, carries lessons within it, lessons that shape us, carve us into who we're meant to be. But right now, all I feel is the weight of it, pressing down on me, threatening to crush me. And I wonder, how much more can I endure before I break? How many more scars can I bear before there's nothing left of me? But then, I think of them, those I've lost, those who gave everything so that I could be here, breathing, struggling, alive. They didn't have a choice, did they? Their paths ended before they could even think of giving up. They're gone, and I'm still here, and maybe that's the only answer I need. Maybe I'm meant to carry their memory, to keep fighting not for myself, but for them, to make sure that their sacrifices weren't in vain, to honor them by living, by enduring, by becoming stronger than the pain that tries to consume me. I won't lie to myself. I know the road ahead won't get easier. I know there will be days, maybe even years, where the struggle feels pointless, where the pain eclipses every flicker of hope. But maybe that's the price of being alive. Maybe life is meant to be a struggle, not because it's cruel, but because it's the only way we can truly understand what it means to be human, to feel deeply, to suffer, to rise above it again and again, no matter how many times we fall. And so, here I am, bruised, scarred, with a soul that feels like it's been dragged through fire. But I'm still breathing, I'm still here, even if I don't understand why. Maybe I'll never know if I deserve this, if I'm worthy of the struggle, of the sacrifices made for me. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe what matters is that I don't give up, that I keep moving, keep fighting, keep living. Because even if I don't have all the answers, even if I don't know if I'll ever find peace, I know one thing. I can endure this. I will endure this. And one day, when the storm finally passes, when the darkness lifts, maybe I'll look back and realize that this pain, this struggle, wasn't a curse, but a gift. A chance to become something greater than I ever thought I could be. So no, I don't know if I deserve this, but I do know that I'm not going to let it break me. Not today, not ever. I tell myself that every breath I take is a choice to stand against this weight that tries to pull me down. And sometimes I think that's all life is. Choices stacked one on top of the other, day after day. A choice to keep moving, to stand up when everything in me screams to fall. I could let go, surrender to the darkness that whispers sweet lies in my ear. It would be easy to sink into that silence, to let the pain fade into nothingness. But I know, deep down, that easy isn't meant for me. Easy isn't meant for those who carry burdens like mine. There are nights when the silence is so thick it's suffocating, wrapping around me like a shroud. I close my eyes, and the faces of those I've lost appear, staring back at me with empty eyes, reminding me of the lives that ended too soon, the choices I made that left them behind. And in those moments, a question echoes in my mind. Is this all my fault? Did I lead them to their deaths, push them down paths that only had one ending? Was I so blind, so wrapped up in this idea of purpose, that I couldn't see the cliffs I was leading them toward? Maybe I am to blame. Maybe the blood on my hands isn't just from battles, but from the lives I couldn't save. And that thought, it eats away at me like poison. But then another thought rises, one that I can't ignore. What would they say if they were here? Would they blame me? Would they curse my name for the fate they met? Or would they tell me to stand, to keep going? I don't know if I'll ever have the answers to those questions, but I do know one thing. Giving up would be the greatest betrayal of all. Betrayal of their memory, of their sacrifices. They fought by my side, trusted me, believed in me. If I were to give up now, if I were to lay down and let the darkness consume me, then what was the point of all their pain? What was the point of their sacrifices? So maybe I carry this guilt with me, like a scar that won't fade. Maybe I'm meant to feel this pain, to be reminded of those I lost every single day. And maybe that's not a punishment, but a reminder that I'm still here, that I can still make a difference, that I still have time to do better, to fight harder, to honor their memory in every step I take, in every breath I draw. And so, even though it hurts, even though my bones ache and my spirit feels frayed, I keep going, not because I believe it'll get easier, or because I think the pain will ever truly disappear. No, I keep going because to stop now would be to let their stories end with mine. And I refuse to let that happen. I refuse to let their lives be reduced to mere memories. to whispers in the dark. There's something almost beautiful about pain, in a twisted way. It's like a fire burning away all the illusions, all the weakness, leaving only what's real, only what matters. Pain doesn't lie. It doesn't make empty promises. It's raw, it's honest, and it forces me to confront the truth I'd rather ignore. The truth that life isn't meant to be easy, that we're not promised happiness or peace, but we are promised the chance to endure, to face whatever comes with strength we never knew we had. And that's what I cling to. The idea that every moment I endure, every step I take, brings me closer to something worth fighting for, even if I don't know what it is yet. Maybe it's redemption, maybe it's peace, or maybe it's something beyond what I can understand. But whatever it is, I know it's out there, waiting for me at the end of this long, brutal road. So I'll keep fighting. I'll keep pushing forward, not because I'm fearless, not because I'm strong, but because I have no other choice, because surrender isn't an option, and despair is just another enemy to be faced. I may be broken, battered, and scarred, but I'm still here. And as long as I'm here, there's a chance to make things right, to find a purpose in all this chaos. And maybe that's all I need. A reason to keep going, a reason to stand up each time I fall. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that every fall, every defeat, is just another opportunity to rise, to prove, if only to myself, that I'm stronger than this pain, that I'm more than the scars I carry. Sometimes I wonder if one day I'll look back and see this suffering as a distant memory, a shadow that fades with time. But even if I don't, even if this pain stays with me until my last breath, I'll accept it. I'll wear it like armor, let it sharpen me, let it shape me into something unbreakable. Because maybe that's what all of this is for. Maybe this suffering is the forge, and I'm the blade being shaped, tempered by every trial, every sorrow. And one day, when I've become something stronger, something unbreakable, maybe then I'll finally understand why I had to walk this path. Maybe then I'll see that every wound, every tear, every sleepless night was worth it. Not because it was easy, not because it made sense, but because it was mine, my story, my struggle, my choice. So no, I don't know if I deserve this pain, if I deserve the chance to keep going, but I do know that I won't let it be for nothing. I won't let this suffering define me. I'll let it refine me, let it push me forward, let it drive me towards something greater. Because in the end, maybe that's all any of us can do. To endure, to fight, to live, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. And as I sit here, alone in this darkness, I make a promise to myself. I will not let this pain break me. I will not let it steal my spirit. I will rise again and again, until I am more than this suffering, until I am stronger than this darkness. Because that's what it means to live, to endure, to hope, to keep moving forward, no matter how many times we fall. And I will keep going, because that's all I have left. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. Somewhere along the line, I forgot what it felt like to be at peace. The concept seems almost foreign to me now, like a language I used to speak fluently, but lost somewhere in the heat of battle, buried beneath scars and bloodshed. I try to remember the softness of life before all of this, the innocence of days unmarked by suffering, but those memories feel like echoes in a vast empty space, fading, distant, almost unreal. And yet, as faint as they are, they're there, buried deep within me. Little glimpses of a world without this weight, moments of laughter, of warmth, of a life that didn't feel like a war. It feels almost foolish to long for those days, to believe they might return, but maybe that's part of the endurance. Knowing that life isn't just a straight line leading us further into darkness. There are bends in the road, small moments of light breaking through the cracks. I just have to keep going to find them. It's strange. I've faced armies, stared death in the eye, yet this struggle within myself is a war like no other. There are no swords or shields, no enemies to strike down, just me, fighting against this invisible force that drags me under, a weight pressing down on my chest, a relentless ache that no amount of strength can seem to cure. They call me a warrior, but this battle, this is something else entirely. Who knew that the hardest fight would be with myself? They all look at me and see a soldier, a fighter, someone who never wavers. But they don't see the cracks beneath the surface, the doubts eating away at me, the constant push and pull between hope and despair. I wear this mask of strength, of resilience, because that's what they need me to be. Because if I fall, who else will stand? But underneath, I'm just a man, as fragile and flawed as anyone else. Sometimes, I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, the ground beneath me crumbling, and all I can do is cling to whatever is left, hoping it won't give way. But maybe that's what strength really is. Not the absence of fear, not the illusion of invincibility, but the quiet courage to keep holding on, even when it feels like there's nothing left to hold on to. Maybe it's not about never falling, but about rising each time we do, about finding something, anything, within ourselves to push forward, no matter how many times we stumble. They never talk about this side of the fight, the battles that rage on long after the war is over. They only tell you about the glory, the honor, the victory. They don't tell you about the nights that follow, the silence that settles in when the cheering fades, when the wounds are all that remain. They don't tell you that some battles never truly end, that even after the dust has settled, the war continues inside, a slow burn that never fades. But here I am, in this darkness, with only my thoughts to keep me company. And I realize, maybe this is where true strength is forged, not in the heat of battle, but in these quiet, solitary moments, when I'm forced to confront every fear, every doubt, every weakness, when there's no one left to lean on, no one to share the weight. It's just me, raw and exposed, and somehow I have to find a way to keep moving forward. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. Because if I can survive this, if I can push through this endless night, then perhaps there's nothing left in this world that can truly break me. I've seen what it is to suffer, to lose, to be stripped of everything, yet still, here I am. If that's not strength, I don't know what is. Sometimes, I imagine a future where this pain is a distant memory, a scar that no longer aches. I imagine myself standing tall, looking back at this moment with something like gratitude, understanding that every ounce of suffering shaped me, sharpened me, that each night spent in darkness carved me into something more resilient, more unbreakable. But until then, I will bear this weight. I will wear my scars with pride. Let them remind me of every battle fought, every struggle overcome, because each scar is proof that I survived, that I didn't let the darkness consume me. They are badges of honor, symbols of a spirit that refused to surrender, even when the world tried to break it. And if I am to be a warrior, if I am to carry this title, then I will do so with everything I have. I will let the pain fuel me, let the suffering shape me, until there is nothing left to fear. Because one day, when the world looks upon these scars, they will see not a broken man, but someone who rose from the ashes, someone who refused to be defeated. So I will keep going, step by step, breath by breath, until this darkness fades. And when it does, I will stand tall, not because I have conquered the pain, but because I have learned to live with it, because I have turned it into something powerful, something that drives me forward, even when everything else tells me to give up. This journey is mine, and mine alone. And if it is filled with suffering, with hardship, then so be it. For I am not defined by the pain, but by what I choose to do with it. And I choose to rise again and again, no matter how many times I fall. I choose to fight, to endure, to become something more than this suffering. Because in the end, maybe that's all I need. Not answers, not peace, but the strength to keep going, no matter what comes. And as long as I draw breath, as long as my heart still beats, I will continue this fight. I will live, I will endure, and I will rise. For that is who I am, a warrior, forged in pain, tempered by loss, and made unbreakable by the very darkness that sought to consume me. And one day, when the world sees these scars, they will know not the story of a man who suffered, but the story of a man who endured.